Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. We're going to do a very special what's in the box. Kind of is a box. I've actually had this one for a while. I haven't opened it. I've been in transit a lot recently. I know you like to see the cutting. Looks like this individual did a very nice job. I would guess that this is magazines or books that I said for. But I'm not quite positive. I know you like to see the cutting. It's kind of your thing. I know you like to see that. You like the sound of that, don't you, little freak? All right. So, I'll tell you what, some of these folks who sell stuff online on eBay specifically, they're very good about their packaging, almost to a fault, to be quite honest. Because it's like you feel like you're entering Fort Knox, and then, at least for me, if I exert, the scissors and so forth to open these packages, my fear is that I'm going to damage the very precious items that are inside. So it's a balance. I don't know if I have all the answers. I don't know if you have any of the answers. But we're all working together to try and come up with some solutions. Interesting weekend. A friend of mine, I think he's a friend, an acquaintance at least, has a film that's doing quite well that I'm going to go see in the movie theater. So I'm looking forward to that. I would give him a shout out, but I don't think he ever does anything for me, so I guess I won't. But here we go. Here's the opening. Here's the package within the package. I do like that it's, not only have I bought this item, but now I have a little bit of a padded envelope. And what's kind of fun, if you're into the environment, with these padded envelopes, you can recycle them basically as just packing material, not as a total envelope. But I do respect this gentleman. There was a gentleman who sent me this for his astute packing ability. I'm being very careful not to assault the item. It is feeling very magazine-esque. So hopefully it's something that we can share here. Okay, it's even better than that, in a sense. My keyboard is totally in my way now. This is the package I have been looking for. I was in transit. I'm kind of getting into this mindset or modality of chasing some of the things that I was into as a young child, trying to relive my youth. And before I even got into pro wrestling, to the extent that I'm in as a, vocation or as an interest, more of an interest than a vocation, I was into these ghost stories, okay? And he was, this is a really cool looking cover. To give it up for that. This gentleman who sold me this was very clear that these were, copies you could read, really not in the best shape. They've been well loved, well worn. But I'm not really looking to, resell or frame these. I kind of like that. It's like the picture within the picture, kind of a mind screw. Just gotta tweak. Okay, this looks pretty haunting. There's like a ghost on top of this dude. So this is gonna be a good, and there's a guy in a coffin. So I guess the guy in the coffin is that guy, that's the spirit. So this is very exciting. I've been using these periodicals, as they used to be called. Now I did shave my mustache. I'm not so sure how it looks, how I look without it. It looks a little incomplete to my face. I think the mustache does add something, which is usually hair above my lip. But without the mustache, I don't know. It kind of depends on the angle. For Christ's sakes. These are really cool covers. Like I said, they were sold to, yeah, they're faded. I mean, they've been through the ringer. These are not exemplary conditioned comic books, but that's okay. I really just wanted to read them. These are probably comics that were thrown in the back seat of a car in, 1982 or whatever. But that's fine. I wanted this type of experience. I didn't want the reproductions or anything. This is DC. It's always interesting. They give you the month. It says September. But what year? 82, I'm going to guess. 1981. So yeah, I mean, like I said, the comics are a bit faded. They haven't been, preserved under glass. Here's Wonder Woman doing a Twinkies commercial. That's what these comics used to do. They would give you like this one little page comic, which would actually be an advertisement or an advertisement for some type of food product that probably had a lot of corn syrup in it. So here we go. This is pretty scary. That's one that I might read first. Seance, plus 3 more chilling tales. I'm looking forward to this. Very exciting. If you happen to be here, you're on one Mike Messier YouTube channel. I do have other channels. I have One Man in a Camera Films, which is my own films, my short films mostly. I'm trying to get my feature up there. It's just very big file. And then, of course, One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan. And then you see some nice stuff. So this has been a real win-win. Very excited. Very exciting. I really like this whole, you face the accuser from beyond the grave in the special witness. I've got to give it up for these gentlemen and women who made these. Let's face facts. It was mostly guys back then, but I'm sure some women were involved somehow. But for the most part, these DC comics, they always did a nice job, I think, with the covers. And if you think about it, that's really what, you can't judge a book by its cover, but you kind of can, especially with a comic book, just because it's so exciting. Now, for those of you who are tuning in and you don't know all the depth of my YouTube world, I did have this other channel was my main hub. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel, which really has thousands of videos. But I found that I just had too much stuff on one channel, too many interests. It was kind of splitting the audience. So over there, you'll see my unpacking video of that's Ron Simmons, Lex Luger, Luger and Flair. I just did this one, which is the WCW cards reveal, but I'm trying to keep things separate. So if you're interested in this type of stuff, my pro wrestling rants, go over to One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan. Put it in quotes. You can find it. My interview with Bob Backlund, Ox Baker. If you want to see my stuff, my original films, One Man in a Camera Films. And that's about it. So I hope you're having a great Sunday. If you're not, that's okay. It's only one day. It'll get better. Did see some kind of depressing stuff today on YouTube. They were talking to this family of, I don't want to get demonetized, but basically a school shooter. And these shootings, or it wasn't even a school. It was like the Louisville one. There's so many that are happening, these shootings. It's desensitizing to think about it. But I did watch this interview, Savannah Guthrie, who I think is pretty attractive. She interviewed this family, and they were very contrite and sad. So it could always be worse, is my positive thought for you. You're not the family of a killer, or unless you are. But in any event, have a nice Sunday and so forth. MikeMessier.com.